welcome Mike for joining us today. We've been trying to get hold of somebody who can basically go through tourism and traveling to Ghana for us, and we are glad that you've joined us. What we want to be able to do today, it's because people want to go to Ghana. This is why we realized that a lot of people want to go to Ghana. But
Okay.
And going to Ghana is not just going to Ghana. Anybody can buy a ticket. We understand, but we really want to be able to find out what is it in Ghana, what is it at all that Ghana has got to offer, that we are so much wanting people to go, because people are going to go to Ghana for various reasons. So I mean, in a nutshell, for us, today we want to understand that idea, what Ghana is, and maybe if you don't mind, you want to just give us something about Ghana. Supposing somebody asks you, what is Ghana? What is Ghana?
Okay. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to get me on your show. I just want to welcome everybody, and I always start by saying welcome to kings and queens of the diaspora. Ghana is actually the gateway to Africa. You know, it's been a place where it was the first to attain independence in the sub-Saharan Africa. So everybody looked at Ghana to, you know, in a way to attain independence. So Ghana was a model for the rest of Africa. So that is how it started. Again, Ghana is about 26 million people around this time, and roughly about the size of Kansas. So just to give people an idea, the size of Ghana, if I want to write it in kilometers or whatever, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But Ghana is comparable to the state of Texas. The state of Kansas. So that's what it looks like. I just want to say that Ghana is rich in gold, diamond, manganese, bauxite, and recently the discovery of oil, which has actually brought a whole lot of investors into Ghana. And Ghana's economy is actually booming. As a matter of fact, according to the World Bank, 10 of the fastest growing economy, 8 of them come from Africa, and Ghana is one of them. It's growing at a rate of 8% plus, whereas most countries or most Western countries are growing at 3.4 and 3.5%. So Ghana is now a radar that the whole world is looking at. So that is just a perspective of why a lot of people want to come to Ghana, and it's bringing a lot of investors. But for us, we are trying to bring in people from the diaspora because of what the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa, recently opened up, you know, Ghana the year of return, 2019. So I think that also has reached so many places, and a lot of people are looking at that invitation to be able to visit.
Yes, I mean, I remember we've done a couple of videos on this, and it's generated a lot of questions, and some of the questions that's coming up, and I think that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have a discussion, is people want to go there for various reasons, okay? And I mean, throughout this journey, you can just decide that you want to go to Ghana and then you buy a ticket. I mean, what is it that people need to know, or what is it available, especially from your end? And if you want to give us a background of what you guys are doing to be able to maybe support or be able to, I mean, what's going on in terms of people who want to go, let's say if the person is in the United States or somebody from Canada, what is it available for them to be able to access?
There are so many ways to go to Ghana. The most important thing is, you know, getting a ticket and making sure that somebody welcomes you once you get to Ghana, and then your accommodation is taken care of, your transportation is taken care of, and most importantly, food and drinks. Ghana is actually considered one of the safest places in among the African cities, and the people are very friendly. So it is one of the places where people can actually visit and feel comfortable without any problem at all. The people are super, super friendly. And that is another reason that attracts people to come to Ghana. If you live in the United States and you want to travel to Ghana, there are so many ways to get there. You can either have a direct flight from, JFK to Ghana, or from Chicago to Ghana direct. So those are some of the options that people can look at and be able to embrace that opportunity to come to Ghana. I think that people are also confused about when they get to Ghana, where do they go?
Absolutely.
And I think that is the most important key, where you have an agent or you have somebody who meets you right at the airport, welcome you. And prior to going in, you've had some kind of conversation or some kind of familiarity with a person. So that is when we come in as Blackstar Tours, and then we'll be able to connect the dots, where we meet you at the airport, we drive you to the hotel, we show you around, give you a little bit of orientation, the do's and don'ts, and how we can plug you into the community.
Okay, now you mentioned, I mean, not just give us maybe a quick background to Blackstar Tours, and then we can continue with the conversation, because you just mentioned something that I think it's important for us to be able to understand what it is. So why is Blackstar Tours?
Blackstar Tours, it's a tour business that is taking people from the diaspora and anybody else that is interested, for that matter, to go to Ghana and other places in Tanzania. We have a safari place in Tanzania that we do just the safari bit. And next year we have Kenya coming on board, where we're going to be taking people to Kenya as well. This particular 2019 return to the year of the return is where we are concentrating on for the whole of the 2019, where we are taking people from the diaspora, whether you live in US, Canada, UK, Finland, Norway, as far as you are of an African descent and you want to return to Ghana. And because that invitation is open, Blackstar Tours is there to accommodate you, is there to meet you at the airport, to embrace you and to make sure that you are comfortable and you are not lost in a country where you don't know anybody. So that is what we do. We take care of your accommodation. We meet you at the airport initially. We take care of your accommodation. We take care of your transportation, food and drinks, excluding alcohol, and security, 24-hour security. We have buses designated to travel the whole of Ghana. So we have an itinerary where we can take you to all these places, all these beautiful places in Ghana. So you can come as a family, you can come individually, or you can come in a group. So those are the things that we have specialized in. We have people on the ground that are certified tour guides that have been trained and be able to answer so many questions that you may have or anybody may have.
That's good to know. And I think, hopefully after this video, we will share some of the links to your website and other areas for people who are just interested, because I think it's good for this information to go out there, and a lot of people are asking questions as to if they want to go, how are they going to go, and if there's an opportunity like this, I think why not? We'll make it available, the links available for people to be able to go there, have access to see the various packages that you have, and then if they are interested, why not? They will see what they will do. But what do you think it's going to be challenging for somebody who hasn't come to Ghana before? Somebody who doesn't really know or understand the culture. What do you think is going to be the most challenging bit, and how would they have to, how can they try and solve that problem? What do you think?
I think it's not going to be that challenging because English is the official language for education, government, entertainment, tourism. So wherever you go in Ghana, if and only if you speak English, that would be one of the things that you can breeze through easily because it's easy for you to interact, it's easy for you to ask questions or whatever. Whereas when you don't speak the English, it becomes a very, the language barrier becomes a huge problem. So that alone is probably about 60% out of the way, without any issues. I think the most challenging part is learning the do's and don'ts, something that you are not used to because you've never done it before. So those are the things that we emphasize in orientation. I don't think you will have a major issue if you are in a group with a lot of people and they know that you are foreigners, because Ghanaians are very hospitable and they welcome foreigners. Very, very friendly people and very, very happy people. So I don't think there is any major problem per se, because you're always going to be with a tour guide, you're always going to be with a security person, and there's always going to be somebody around who is willing to intercede on your behalf.
We in Ghana, we know how our customer service is, and
Yes.
and it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a challenge. Some of us, we have a problem with it, and so we've been talking against it. And it's something that I feel it's gonna be a shock to some people when
Absolutely.
they haven't been to Ghana before, because sometimes you know that you are the customer, you are the consumer, you need to be provided the service that you have paid for, but then you realize that when you go to some institutions and some service providers, they will not, it's not as if they don't care, but they don't see that they are not doing the right thing. They don't see that the response they are giving you that doesn't meet up with your expectations. And so for me, that's one of the things that I feel is going to be challenging. It doesn't mean that they cannot go over it, but if it is anything that I would encourage, that maybe it needs to be very much spelled out in the orientation and the things that would be given to people who want to come. They need to understand that, yes, customer service is here and some organizations are doing very well, but it might not be the same as maybe in the United States or in Canada or in Germany or in China or in other parts. It could well be that in some times, Ghanaian customer service experience might be better or a par or maybe low, but they need to understand that our customer service it's still growing. We are talking against it. We are fighting for the best for consumers, and it is something that they need to appreciate, that it might be different. 2019 is going to be eventful. I mean, it's going to be start from January to December. There is a lot of activities being organized by the Ghana Tourism Authority, other government departments, festivals, art exhibitions, and all that. So looking at that year from January to December, how have you designed your packages in terms of, if somebody wants to come to Ghana, how has it been? Is it been spread out? Supposing if somebody wants to come to Ghana and possibly not, maybe he wants to just join you, but not possibly take up an accommodation from you. I mean, can you just give us an understanding of what could be the dynamics within that?
The packages is structured in such a way that we've broken it down into quarterly. So we are anticipating the month of February to March, where we can take the first group. And we did that same time. The reason why we chose February, ending to the beginning of March, because there is an independence celebration.
I was gonna ask about that, yeah.
Yeah, there's an independence celebration on the 6th of March.
Yeah.
the 62nd independence celebration of Ghana, and we want people in the diaspora who are coming to witness that celebration. So 2019, we start from February to, it's going to be a 14-day trip. So we start from February to February ending, 25th to first week in March. And then the second group will start because Easter is just coming up right after that. And those who want to see the Easter festival, because there's a huge Easter convention in the Kwewu Mountains.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, so those who want to witness that.
I think for some reason that's why they've actually, because you know there's a paragliding event that actually happens around Kwewu as well. So
exactly.
Within that structure, the paragliding event is actually happening in April. That's where I think Easter is. So I think it will coincide with that.
Exactly. So the second batch of people are gonna come right after the first batch leaves, and then so we have that for the Easter convention or the Easter celebration in Kwewu. And as the festivals pick up from June, July, I think it starts in May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so from May and June, July, there's another package for those coming in the summer. And then, because the festival celebration spreads from May all the way to October, and they have different, colorful dancing and drumming, all kinds of cultural festivities going on.
I know that in August, that's where the PANAFest, the Pan-African Festival happens, Emancipation Day and all that. And it's gone on for a couple of years now. We've seen people from all over the world who come around August every year. And this year is very much special because it's coinciding with the 400 years of when the slavery was abolished.
Exactly.
And so I know that this year of return has got a lot to do with that particular month. And
exactly.
So what I would just chip in is, if anything is being organized, I don't know what you've done, but just look at that month in August, where
month of August.
I know very much that people will want to come. And so the experience is what we are looking for in Ghana, trying to attract as many people who want to come to Ghana as possible. As we speak now, there are opportunities for both Africa and people in diaspora to connect. And that
Absolutely.
is what I'm trying to push that. If we can connect, if we will find a way through these type of tours, these types of travels, where you will come and possibly you might not even come with just only your kind or only people from your own background. There will be a lot of people coming together, traveling together, experiences places in Ghana together, having a conversation, building networks. Then you would feel that, okay, it is not as bad as maybe you thought. And so I think that conversation needs to be happening a lot within the sphere.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that all our lives, let's say 400 years, somebody has always written about us. Somebody that doesn't look like you and I. Somebody else from a different race have always told us who we are, and that is wrong. Now that we know the truth, why don't we come together as a people, and a formidable group, and just try and find our feet among ourselves? Because every time that you turn around, and I was in Tanzania, Kenya, and other places, all the travel tours are run by Caucasians. And we live in Africa. Why are they running businesses in Africa and it's not Africans running the business? I made a typical example to a friend of mine recently. He said, oh, he's going to go to Paris and travel Europe. And I said, dude, you go to Paris and travel Europe and all that, you're still giving the money to the same people. Take it to Africa, because every time you spend $1 in Africa, it will stay there. So these are some of the things that we have to think about and be conscious of, that stick to your kind and rewrite your history. Come together as a group and be able to change some of the things. We have writers in Ghana. We have great intelligent people all over Ghana. We need to stick together. We are inviting people in the diaspora, the Caribbean, Canada, UK, US, wherever they might be. Because when you go to Finland, Norway, the Scandinavians, you have a lot of Black people living there. Japan, you have Black people living there. In the Philippines, there are Black people living there. These are some of the things that people don't know. Absolutely. And I'm talking about original Black people, not that they migrated. Okay, not that they migrated. So these are some of the things that people don't know, that we have Black people living in Asia, because as a matter of fact, when you read the history, Black people actually are in Asia. I'm going to give you another example. In the United States alone, Black money, when I say Black money, money that African Americans spend in the economy is $1.5 trillion.
Wow.
African American expenditure is $1.5 trillion. Okay. If you look at the GDP of the world economy, we're going to be number 10 as a country, African American, and we are only 13% of the population. This is United States alone. I'm not counting Canada. I'm not counting the Caribbean and the other places. Okay. So if we are able to bring this money together and try and do something elsewhere, instead of spending it into a place that we don't get no respect, we don't get no recognition, we don't get all kinds of things that we're supposed to get. I think that is where we can stand up for ourselves and embrace each other and say, we can do this.
It's mind blowing when you start putting figures like this on the table. And people should not get us wrong. Nobody's against any sort of business, any race. No, this is not. It's just trying to galvanize people to be able to see where they can make a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Because as you just said, and nowadays people have got a lot of issues with foreign-based nationals, foreign-based companies who come to Ghana, especially, and who are trying to get in the action, do their business, make money, take it out. I don't argue so much on these issues, because what I keep saying is, if you're an economy, if you're a company, if you are a business, if you are somebody living in your country and you are not able to do it yourself, somebody will come and take it away.
Exactly.
And so my encouragement, it's with our brothers and with business and with even Ghanaians like yourself. And I'm so glad that people like you are trying to set up businesses for Ghana. It is so key that people like yourself, who understand both cultures, who were in Ghana, who live in Ghana, who are now outside Ghana, and who have actually had the light and seen. And you just said there's a lot of money that people are holding up. And sometimes I've had a couple of conversations with people like that before, and sometimes they are scared. I can appreciate that. Sometimes they are not certain. They don't trust the socio-political system. If you don't give it a try, if you don't start, nobody will see that it can be done. And so then the cycle keeps going. And so that's one of the things that I've been trying to do, that encouraging people like yourself to be able to come and take that rightful place that you just mentioned. Because
absolutely,
we are trying to get all other African descent to come. Some of them haven't even lived in Ghana before. So for them, it's going to take them some time. But even that, there's a lot of African Americans who are already in Ghana. They've come for years. They've established, they're doing whatever they want to do, and they are okay enjoying life as it has to be done in Ghana. That's number one. So for somebody who already has probably a family, a clan relationship, you're already a Ghanaian, and now you've gone away, you've done well, you are having ideas that you can come and start something, and maybe the right information is not going to people, and so there's all these kind of misconceptions, and it's all against you trying to come. My encouragement is, yes, the challenges will be there, I always say, but until you come and walk through that challenges, until you come and find solutions around those challenges, it's not going to happen. And so based on that, I would just want to ask personally, and you can give me as much as information or as little as you want. What was the motivation for you to be able to start something like this, or to be able to get this journey where you want to sort of come? Because I can see that you're probably comfortable in the States. You're okay. You can decide not to come to Ghana or come and do anything. But what is the motivation behind this program?
Well, in South Africa, there's a popular adage that goes that when I'm successful, we are successful. So it's not just me, it's just trying to bring people together so that we can be successful together. And it's called Ubuntu. So when I'm successful, you are successful, whoever else, it's in my arena, becomes successful. To answer your question, because I've done quite a bit of travel around the world, I have looked at so many things, and it opens up so many, opportunities for me to be able to say, why are we not doing this ourselves? Why is there somebody else that doesn't? I mean, look at the African continent. It was the first continent made, okay? It was the first continent made, and it's the only continent that is rooted to the ground. Everything else is floating on water. They were all fused together, and because of, rain and erosion and all that, they moved away. African continent is the only one that is rooted to the ground, and it's not moving.
We will need to take this as a whole program one day. It will be interesting, because I know that maybe information is out there, but I think it's interesting. So
yeah. So that is how people migrated to other parts of the world, because the continents were all fused together. Okay. So to answer your question, all I'm trying to say is that if we don't start connecting the dots now, then when? Africa has a population of 1.2 billion at this time. When you go to certain countries, 50% of the population under the age of 20%. Yes. I mean, 50%, under the age of 20 years, 50% of the population under the age of 20. So we are teaming with, enormous amounts of labor, people with skills and all that. In America, you have successful Black businesses, both men and women, doing extremely well. Okay?
Yeah.
So my question is, why are we not taking that to other places where your money stays within your people, you are highly respected, highly recognizable, and nobody is chasing behind you or stopping you wherever you want to drive? Okay. You don't experience that because you live in Ghana. But when you live in America, these are some of the things, just being Black, what you go through. So if you have the resources and you can move to a place where you're going to be comfortable, why not? The bottom line is you're helping your brother, you're helping your sister. So that's why I say, welcome, kings and queens. You are actually a king and a queen if you are Black, in any shape or form. So let's all go back home and try to help and, circulate our money among us, so that we will be able to lift people out of poverty and then be able to say we did this on our own.